Hello everybody, welcome back to Expressions Craft Studio. Today we are going to make little mini Christmas trees, and these are made with a variety of cone-shaped items. This little white one here was made with floral styrofoam and a baby yarn. This one was made with another floral styrofoam, and it is some old Christmas tree tinsel that my mother had that she used to put on her trees, and I wanted to keep that, and so I turned it into a Christmas tree. And the last one is much larger, and it is made with the traditional tinsel, string of tinsel stuff that you put on a tree. And the one that we're going to make now, though, is going to be a little different. Bear with me a second while I move this stuff out of the way. The one we're going to make now, I'm going to cover it with these beads that I've had for years. I actually bought them for some bedroom decor that I made, a comforter and some pillows, and I either had extra or I never finished the pillows, which is what I'm thinking is the case. So I never finished the pillows. So I'm going to use some of this today, and I'm going to use it on this cone here. It's a paper mache cone. I probably got it at Michael's, and all I've done is first I painted it white, and then when I realized I was going to use this green strung beads, I decided to sponge paint green on it. And all I did was first I used this folk art extreme glitter, but it was more of a minty color and wasn't nearly dark enough. So I went back over it with this folk art, and it is called Classic Green, and it's 2554 is the number if you're interested. So I continue to knock stuff over here. So what I'm going to do is the first thing I did actually was, because this is a satin ribbon that this is on, it tends to fray. So I took a flame and singed the ends of it. Basically, it melts it back together so that you don't have to worry about fraying. So that was the first thing I did. Now I've got my hot glue gun ready to go. I'm going to put you up in the video holder, and I'm going to attempt to glue this on here, and we will see how well this works. I think it'll be really pretty. It's just whether or not it's going to work very well. So hold on just a moment. All right, so I'm going to take, and I'm going to start this. I'm just going to, actually, the first thing I need to do is kind of figure out where I want this to start as far as the height goes, because I don't want it to go all the way to the bottom. And these beads are all a little bit different in length. Some are long. Oh, I see why that one's longer, because it's coming out of there. So hopefully that'll be okay. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to put a smidge of hot glue right there just to hold that thread that those are threaded on in place. Hopefully that'll do it. And then I'm going to trim this end off again. And then I'll show you how I burnt it again. So let me make a little room here. So I just cut those beads off, which I'll just add to my bead collection. And then we're going to take our aim and flame, but you can use a candle or a match or lighter, whatever you have. And I just want to get the ends hot enough to kind of melt them just a little bit so that it doesn't ravel out. Or fray, whatever you want to call it. So it looks like I'm going to want to start right about there. My paint should be dry, but it still feels a little tacky, but I think it'll be all right. Yeah, so right about there. So I'm just going to mark my place here with my thumb, fold that back a little bit, and put down some glue, maybe, if I can get my glue to work. You want to be careful, because that is hot. Alright, so I'm just going to try and keep this first row about the same level. And it probably will be easier to do that by just kind of holding it. But I want to glue it every so often so I don't have to worry about it coming up. So I'm going to bend my hand backwards. See if I can do this where you can see it. The glue's not coming out very well. Not sure I got that right. I feel like I've got my project all turned around funny. Now this satin ribbon does not have any bias in it, so it will start to curl up a little bit as you work your way around, but because you're just gluing it down, that shouldn't matter a whole lot. Yeah, I definitely started going in the wrong direction here. Trying to keep my beads right at the bottom of the tree. I feel like I'm kind of starting to work my way up a little bit. What I should do, let me see here. I was hoping I had a Sharpie handy. I don't see one. Oh, you know what? I got a ton of pens right here. Let's see. And among them I have Sharpies. So, let's see if I have a green one. I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of mark it to make it a little bit easier for myself. And I do definitely feel like I'm starting to go up. So just put a little. Alright, maybe green wasn't the best way to go because I can't see it on there. So let me find a black one. As I get ink all over my shirt. What I should have done was used a tape measure, but some days I prefer to work hard versus smart. That's just me trying to be funny. Alright, those beads dangle and just wrap it around. Ideally, what I want to do when I get back to this first row is just pull it up just a little bit. Not a lot. If anybody can recommend a good glue gun, I would love to hear it, because I have got one that I had for a while and didn't like it because I constantly had to futz to get the glue to come through the end of it. Now, so then I went and bought this one, which I did research a little bit, and I do mean a little, and it was supposed to be pretty good, but I beg to differ, because I have the same problems with it, and maybe I'm buying the wrong glue sticks. I don't know. I don't do a lot of hot gluing. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do. You see, I'm just going to kind of layer over that now, and just go up above it, and see how nicely they're going to fall. Anyway, I don't do a lot of hot gluing because it's not my favorite. Maybe it's because I don't have a decent glue gun. Maybe it's because I don't like burning myself. There's probably 1,000 reasons, but it is not my favorite. And this is why. Trying to get the glue to come out of there. Just drives me crazy. Plus it's peeling up my paint, it looks like. So, good thing that'll get covered up with ribbon. So, this is what we're working on. This is where we're at. I don't know if you can see how nicely those are laying. It's going to be pretty, which it should be pretty. It was some expensive beading stuff, which I've had, like most of my craft stuff, for, let's see, I know about when I bought this. We were there for 10 years, and we've been down here for 9, so it's at least 15 years old. Maybe between 15 and 19 years old. And so it's been around a while. So it's about time I used it, right? Oops. Oh man, I didn't know that was cut. Oh well. So add some more glue on here. I'll try to. Beads flipped over on the wrong side. Trying to get this down before my glue dries or cools, whichever. Was working on the tinsel one earlier. I got a little bit of tinsel there on the end of my glue gun. So I hope you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just laying that down over the hot glue, kind of pressing it in a bit without trying not to burn myself. I probably don't need to glue it as much as I am, but this is kind of heavy, so I want to make sure there's enough glue on it that it's going to hold it. Just kind of tapping that down. Try and flip all these back to the right side, even though they're probably not going to stay. Oh, especially since I had my ribbon twisted. Oh my goodness. That didn't work either. So, probably should just work in really small sections, which is kind of what I was doing anyway. So I'm going to try and put a little bit longer bead of glue on here just because I don't want to spend all day working on just one tree. although I did get a couple others done earlier. I don't know if you can see what I mean about that ribbon kind of curling up as you go work your way around. That's just because it's not got any, it's not biased, which means it doesn't have any stretch. You might be able to find some. It's got a little stretch on it, but who knows? And like I said, I've had this for somewhere between 15 and 19 years, so I sincerely doubt you'll have any luck finding any of it exactly like this. Some more glue, except it's to that part where the gun doesn't want to pull the glue stick in. So I don't know if that's going to be enough glue. We'll see. The one thing I do like about hot glue is how quickly it dries. But for me, it's just kind of a pain to work with. And see, I didn't get that down far enough. I wanted it down more like that. So I'll see if it'll stick. Probably won't matter because the beads in the rows above it are going to cover it. But isn't that pretty? What do you think? Alright, there we have it. With the jeweled little tree. There you go. What do you think? I think it took me an hour and 20 minutes to do that. I probably won't be doing another one. But isn't it pretty? Ooh-wee. Thank you for watching.